Now, moving on to another simple mod. Just about every jack I've played with has more cylinder travel built in than they actually let you use, because remember, these are made to lift things, typically cars, trucks, buses, what have you, and you're going to have a limited swing under power. What I mean by under power is when you're trying to actually lift something, when you've gotten the piston up to the vehicle, and now you're really having to bear down on this bar. You're probably going to be under something. You're only going to have so much play or so much travel. So that's pretty much, they don't care about that. So that's what the jack is built for. But in a press environment where this doesn't change and you've got an open frame, well, that's a lot of movement wasted. Excuse me, not wasted. It's a lot of travel that you could be using if the jack was so tuned to being used in a press. So I'm going to swap jacks real quick, just because the rings on these pins are more of a pain to get apart than one of these. So here's a smaller model, and I kind of like these the Harbor Freight ones because they're all serviceable. This particular jet model I have is not welded, welded, welded. It's not really serviceable. You can change the O-ring here, and if you can ever get these screws out, possibly a check valve, but that's pretty much it. So, since a lot of us are going to be playing with the Harbor Freight and their derivative shop presses, these are great because you can do a lot of modifications on these and use them for other purposes, or just make things easier on your press. So because these have these nice little easy clips to get off, I can pull this off and show you some things. So I'm going to pull that off there and zoom in a little bit. Okay, that's your pump. Ta-da! Got a cylinder and a piston here. Now, my bottom motion is stopped by the handle bracket. Darn little fruit fly, get out of here. That's smacking on the top of the cylinder. Get better light. Oh, come on, now what? Christ. So anyway, where was I? So that's limiting my travel. I can't go any farther no matter what the piston size is because I'm smacking on that. But if I push my piston down to the full travel and take a peek here, you can just see where the hole is. That's some travel I've lost right there. That's a few millimeters, or about close to a quarter of an inch. So that's one little bit we can make up just by grinding a little bit off of the bottom of this bracket here to allow it to push the plunger to the full bottom. Now let's check the upside. Your piston is really simple. It's basically a pin that has an O-ring on the bottom. That's your piston ring. And the ones I have taken apart and played with is nothing more than an O-ring. It's maybe the higher priced, really big Mongo jacks might have a particular type of hydraulic gland or a V-seal that will, we'll cover that in another video. But this is basically just using an O-ring. Nothing special there. So if you got leaks in your jack, you're only going to leak really from two places. Either that ring is worn out, or the one that's on the end of this release screw here, and it's leaking past the threads. So just get some more rings and fix it. No big deal. So now we've established that we can go all the way down with this. Now let's see how far up we can go. Yeah, you'll lose a little bit of fluid. But this factory is making more every day. So now I'm going to push this in till it's just fully seated. It's a little bit getting that ring started. There we go. Okay, so I'm pretty much at the very top. Now I'm going to go a little bit more just to give me some safety. Because if I'm going to alter this geometry, I want to make sure I don't pull that piston all the way out and make a big mess. So I'll probably get better off tapping that. Actually, let's do, okay, fine. There. That's seated pretty good. Now it's probably going to wash off because of the oil, but I'm going to put a mark here. Let's see, we're going to use, there's my dividing line, and I'm going to put, this will be the modified side. Okay, and this will be the unmodified side. Well, I can't get a marker in there, but I can kind of guess it's going to be about there, and then here. And comparing my two marks, or my two sets of marks, I have my lower one here, my upper one here, compared to the unmodified, which would be here and here. And I got much smaller travel. If I combine that extra travel, that's how much more I'm going to get per stroke. So let's just do a quickie here. That's roughly, we'll say 5 centimeters there, and 7 centimeters there. So that's a total of 12 more centimeters of piston travel I can get to be able to do more work on a stroke. And all we have to do to achieve that is lengthen this back arm here. I'm going to pull the pin out of there. And of course, that's a different size. There. So now I'm at my lower mark where I'm happy, and I just look at the difference of the arm length I need. To achieve it. So if I were to either make a new arm or weld this section up here and add a little bit extra, I would put the center of my hole right about that point, drill it through, I'm going to stick this clamp here to simulate that as if we had done that. Pull you back. Now I've got a lot more swing to do work. I've got a lot higher and actually lower. Now lower isn't any good in a regular jack because, you know, at this point you're hitting the ground or you're whacking on the frame. But in a press environment, that's kind of dandy there. So you might want to do something like that. And this no way changes anything as far as mechanical advantage. It's going to take the same amount of force to do the work as it did before. You just have farther you can go before you have to reverse and do dead movement, filling up that cylinder or filling up the pump. And I just thought that was kind of cool, and it's pretty darn easy to do. So at this particular jack, we're lengthening the pivot arm here, and because we're still bottoming out on this bracket, all you'd have to do is machine or grind a little bit off the bottom of that so the piston goes all the way down, and you've got an extra 12 millimeters of pumping. Cool, huh? I'm going to bring back the other jacks. This is one I've already modified. And all told, I got about another, let's see, I think it was 17 millimeter stroke in its unmodified form, or 13. And then I got about 12 more millimeters out of it, same thing, maybe a little bit more. And what that equaled was less pumps per a given amount of lift. Get these suckers back down. Okay. Tighten them off. Now, in my quick little comparison, I just basically did how many strokes it takes to get 1 inch of rise. With the unmodified one, it should come out to something like 23. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. And that gives me 1 inch of height. On the modified version, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12. Because of the positioning in the camera, it doesn't look the same, but you know, we'll throw another stroke in there. There, 13 if that looks better. But according to my my gizmo here, I'm just a hair over 1 inch. 13 compared to 23. That's 10 less strokes, and you get the same amount of work done. So that mod may appeal to you if there's interest. And when I'm building my shop press, I have a lot of other ideas I want to put into practice. One of them would be how cool would it to have a 2-stage pump on your floor jack. If you've got access to a lathe, and it'd be nice to be able to do 4 pumps and be at the top, and then whenever it gets under load, it automatically switches stages and you're back to normal operation. Cool, huh? So that's going to be in the future. I plan on making my my press work upside down. You know, I'm going to have mine mounted like this, and there's going to be some things you have to change to do that. And if you're interested, I'll walk you step by step in doing that too. So throw me some comments. Tell me if you like it. Tell me if you want to see something else along those lines, because I've kind of got hydraulics on the brain, and I'm thinking I can put these kind of things to use, because I've got a crap load of these little jacks, these little 4 tons that I use for lifting my garage. That's why that thing's on there. So I got about 5 of these lying around, and hell, they're just basically hydraulic cylinders. Maybe we'll get into making some homemade pumps, and we can use them for actuators or ways to position or lift machinery or something like that. And, I fully intend to explore that. So if you're interested in going more in depth, maybe we'll rip one of these babies apart, see what makes them tick and what you can do and get away with, and things you shouldn't do. Let me know. I'm curious about the interest. I don't want to make any more videos that it's just filling up time. If it's something you want to know about, I'll be glad to show you. So anyway, until next time, take care.